Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is BlueMoon34 Team and let's just get straight into it. So, today we're talking about The Sims Sparked. Now, I know what you're saying. Yes, I did make a video on the Sims community and why I don't like the Sims community, and it's probably privated, and you probably can't see it. If it is, I'll try to get it back up and running. I don't know if that's gonna really work. Uh, but the next thing I want to say is, um, that I was also confused going into this because I didn't I wasn't originally going to make this video. And I know that I say that probably for a lot of my videos, but I wasn't originally going to make this one because I know that my stance is the way it is on the Sims community, and I just didn't think that this was something that was going to be interesting for anybody to really watch. And so I was like, all right, well, you know, we'll see. And I saw the first video, like the first episode, and I really didn't like it that much. And so I have some thoughts, a lot of thoughts. So let's start at the very beginning. A few weeks ago, it was announced that The Sims Sparked was going to be this TV show, this reality TV show competition thing, um, and they were making it out to be like a big deal. And here I I want to get into why I have a problem with these types of reality TV shows. First of all, I really hate them because they're always overly dramatic. And I think that's what it stems from. Like that's what a lot of the problems that I have with them is that it's just a bunch of um over dramatized things that, keep you at the edge of your seat, and it's the same old tricks being used over and over again. And really it's so outdated. What I like to call it is the chopped styled, and I'm so sorry if you hear my dog in the background. The chopped styled, um whatchamajiggies. Uh what's it called? The chopped styled reality competitions. You know, when Chopped first came out, I loved it. I loved Chopped, and I still do like Chopped, just not as much. And then I realized that a lot of um, a lot of other networks, even the History Network, has even started copying that type of genre, and I really hated it because I just didn't like the idea of all these other people copying a classic and trying to mess it up. And that's what a lot of these competitions do. And I think the main thing that they fail at is, like, okay, so like in the cooking reality TV shows, like the competitions, um, the thing that they fail at is teaching you things about cooking. You know, like you go on the cooking channel or the Food Network channel, to learn something new about how to cook something, and to just like open your brains up to new styles of cooking and new foods that you haven't cooked before. And foods isn't the best way to put it, but new food that you haven't tried, and it's supposed to make you learn something, and you're supposed to feel like, oh wow, I got out of this thing learning that I can make this burger or whatever. Um, and shows on the Food Network channel used to be that way. Um, like Alton Brown's Good Eats, I'm so glad that it's returned because, um, it was actually about the science of cooking, and it showed you all these different types of things about how to cook and stuff, and it did it in such a respectful manner that everybody just instantly loved it, and and like even watching it now, like it still holds up to what it was like before, and it was awesome, and I'm so glad that it's back. um and but on the Food Network nowadays, when Alton Brown isn't doing that show, it's just a bunch of competitions. And there's barely any cooking that we actually get to see. And, and so knowing all of this, I didn't know how I was going to feel about The Sims Sparked, because how do you take a game and make it into a competition, especially a casual game like The Sims? You know, I just don't know um how you can really do that, And so I watched the first episode, and I have a lot to say, and I've watched all the episodes at this point. They've aired all four episodes, which that's one of my main issues. Let's start with the bad stuff, okay? No, you know what? Let's start with the good stuff. First of all, the production quality is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, it's the highest quality stuff that I've seen in a long time. Too bad I have to watch it at 140p, like 144p because of my horrible internet. But honestly, it's really great production quality. Um, you know, it's as far as the people go, I didn't know like half the people that I saw on that show, and I guess I learned a little bit more about them. I knew some of them, but not all of them. You know, I thought this show was going to be much more annoying, but it actually really isn't. Um, and see, that was the surprising thing about it, was that it really wasn't that annoying, like I thought it was. You know, and as far as the building has gone, like in my opinion, everybody did an amazing job, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat it or anything like that, but they did the best they could do, um, with what they had to work with, which is kind of what you have to work with. The first three episodes focus a lot on drama and focus a lot on stuff that really isn't related to The Sims. And to me, you know, that really didn't sit well with me, because even though this is The Sims Sparked, there wasn't a whole lot of like you didn't really get to see them do a whole lot with their projects and stuff of what they were trying to work with. And to me, that was a huge problem, because it just didn't feel like something made for The Sims, like it didn't feel right. It didn't sit right with me. So, it didn't have that Sims vibe to it. It just felt it, like while the production value was so great, I just felt like it was just too professional. And The Sims 4, like it's professional, but it's supposed to be fun and creative and all this type of stuff. And I play The Sims, and I know you know what it's like. There's a bunch of you know interesting songs, like the theme songs are really good for The Sims, and you know The Sims just has a completely different like life to it, When you go into it, you're just greeted with all of this happy stuff, and when you look at the set of Sparked, yeah, there's a few plumb bobs here and there, but it just feels way too professional, way too like I don't know, way too commercialized. I guess that's the best way of putting it. Is it just feels, in my opinion, way too commercialized, and I really didn't like it, that much as far as the set goes. And I felt that, it was just way too small, and I felt like it should have really reflected more on what The Sims is all about, and that should have been how it should have been, and it really didn't deliver there. Um and then let's get into the actual simming. Like I said, this is another one of my problems. Episodes 1 through 3 don't really focus a whole lot on the actual simming of these people. It focuses more on the presentation of of everything, and a lot of people, myself included, had problems with it because um, when you first go into the show, it is sort of like those competition shows that you see all the time, like on Chopped and stuff, but it really isn't. They will throw twists in here and there, um, but the main difference, in my opinion, Lucy, stop. The main difference, in my opinion, is the is the main difference, in my opinion, um, has to be not only that it's about The Sims, but also the fact that um, the fact that is that it focuses, like, yeah, like I said, so it focuses more on the presentation, um, and that's really the whole thing, and the over dramatization of everything. The contestants were great, I guess. I didn't really get to learn a whole lot about them. And I know that they have their own little interviews on YouTube now. I haven't seen any of them yet. I probably should have watched those before I started this video. That would have been a smart idea. Um, but the main issue is that it just focused more on the presentation and less on the actual simming, and to me, like, when I play The Sims, I I just feel like, like I create my own little story, and I have this family, and I just basically do whatever I can, and I try to come up with things, and it's really hard to do things when you're in live mode. And that was one of, like, the first challenges, was to do um it in live mode, like, whatever they were doing. And I'm not gonna really spoil it, because I recommend you go and try it out, but it really doesn't work as a reality TV show format. And also, can I just say that this should have been, like, on the Game Show Network and not TBS. I watched it on YouTube, but I think that this should have been on the Game Show Network. I just feel like it would have been better, and it would have made a lot more sense. And I feel like they could have been a little bit more free on what they could do, and that would have, like, opened up the realm of possibilities of what they could do. And and so that's, you know, that's that, So there's Team Freezer Bunny, Team Cowplant, Team Llama, and Team No. And I'm not going to spoil who wins, but I was voting for Team Cowplant, and I think they did really great because they had Dr. Ashley, who was just an amazing builder, and, like, really, really did such an amazing job with everything that she built. And I think that it's definitely, like, the reason why I want you to guy like the reason why I want you to check this show out, which normally I wouldn't really say this, but the reason why I want you to check it out is because I want you to be able to see the creativity that these people have. Now, I may not like the Sims community, but they are creative people. They are very creative people. And I know that, this feels like I'm sugarcoating it and just, but here's my deal on this whole situation. Okay. I honestly wish that it was a little bit better, and it did get better, which is why I got to tell you about episode 4. But first, you know, like I said, I don't tell you to go watch a show or whatever. But the reason why I do this is because, you know, if it, normally when I say that I don't like something, I I don't re- I don't recommend it, you know. But this time it's sort of different, because it does focus more on your creativity, and I think, to me, that makes this a whole lot better. And it honestly does. Um and I think that this reality TV show could get better if it just focused more on the actual simming, which is why episode 4 was my absolute favorite, because it got it correct. It got it the right way. Um, what I like it a lot about it is that it focused more on the actual simming, and it didn't really focus on drama, but there was a little bit of like, oh my God, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? And I did feel like I was at the edge of my seat, and it felt fresh. Even though it's really not a fresh format, what they did with episode 4 was just really great, and I wish that they would have done that with the rest of the episodes too, because it just felt so amazing to actually get to see the creativeness of these people, and to see them have like no limitations. And that's what The Sims is all about, is to really not have any limitations. And when you limit yourself, it's impossible. And I mean, I think they would have done a better job at making Minecraft a reality TV show, like a game show, because that really, you could do anything. And except, you know I really don't like the fact that Minecraft isn't really that great with blocks. We need more blocks. um yeah, this is more of a rambly one. I'm sorry if this is too rambly for you. I haven't done this in what feels like forever, so it's gonna be rambly. As far as other things, honestly, I I don't think there's anything else to say. I recommend you go and check it out if you like to see how creative people can be. Um, but you're really not gonna like a lot of the drama that goes on, unless you really like the drama that normally goes on these reality TV shows. Um, but yeah, I do recommend that you check it out if you can. It's on YouTube. Uh, I think I will get the playlist and I'll link it down below. Um, and yeah, and I'm sorry if I'm sniffling. I've I just have allergies. It's just something that allergies, some allergies. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, thank you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.